discussion on the meaning of chess and why we play it. The player's thoughts absorbed in the history and mythology of the pieces, and much less attention afforded to the actual game at hand. Not much eventuates out of this game. Perhaps they discover the secret origins of chess, or they don't. But the game itself lacks richness, lacks depth of strategy, or any other displays of mental prowess that make the game worth playing. The game itself was boring to watch. Although there is no correct answer here, we should assess what's important in how we wish to live. In a similar way, we can get lost in the hunt for more knowledge on the secrets of life, reading book after book and watching video after video. Engrossed in the pursuit of knowledge, that we minimize our own sensory experience of life and reduce our output into the world. Your own valuable output that this world so desperately seeks from you. The shades of green in the color of the trees, the various scents in the air, the heat of the sun. These are experiences you won't find directly in any books. Yet there is perhaps more wisdom and knowledge inside this raw experience of nature than that of anything you might read in the pages of an ancient text. As a seeker of truth, this hunt for answers and more wisdom could be your life's work, and you may have chosen to sacrifice other pursuits in your life for this position. If you feel that this is your particular calling, then you don't even need to consider such questions on how best to spend your time. If we were all in the Matrix, one would think that we must awaken everybody. Though if we're all in a video game, maybe we'd say, just play the game and enjoy it as it was intended to be played. The truth is neither Matrix nor video game. It is what you believe it to be. Sky. Try and look past the sky. Do you really think anything exists out there? Beyond the blue rendered space we call the sky? Or is it an edge, a border, much like the borders of any other video game? Perhaps the character could theoretically leave, but physically can't. Reality so very much wants you to believe that it is a vast universe out there and not an enclosed system environment. Believe what you want. In fact, what you choose to believe will matter most. Your response to the thought of what lies past the skies is more important than what lies past the skies. Far beyond any objective answer of whether anything lies beyond the skies or not. In fact, it is questionable whether an objective answer even exists. We tend to imagine objects in space and time existing independently of our existence. A human in a country, on an earth, in the solar system, in a galaxy, within a universe. But we must remember that everything in this universe, known to us, is occurring from within our mind, not in terms of physical matter, but in terms of frequency. And where is the source of this stimuli coming from? If you lived in Mario Land, how would you go about finding the Nintendo console currently running your Mario Land reality? You wouldn't. You couldn't. You can only move back, forward, up, down, or jump. Your movements are limited to the limited dimensional movements of the Marioverse. You are in Mario Land to play Mario, and play Mario you will. But Mario is only an extension of the player playing him. In the same way, you are perhaps only an extension of the player playing you. You are like the branch of a tree. Mario is oblivious to the controller, the player dictating his every movement. Mario has become the embodiment of that player in the Marioverse, much as you are an extension of your greater self that exists outside of this realm. is an instrument of reality creation, of energy conduction. There is no underlying structure that exists independent to your consciousness. It is being created as you think and as you live. You are a part of a whole. There is no pre-existing base reality. Nothing exists without the presence of your consciousness. Our human body is a reality-shaping tool. It can do this because the universe is malleable to our own will. The ancient Hermetic texts allude to this same principle, that the universe is mind. That is why techniques such as visualizations are so effective in bringing about the reality that we so desire. We exist in this system through an avatar, at birth given a blank slate. There is a you that chose this scenario, much like how the character is selected before commencing gameplay. This current state you are experiencing is connected to a you that perceives infinitely more than your body and mind in this realm does. You agreed upon the limitations of your faculties in order to enjoy and participate in this game of life on Earth. I think it is apparent that if we didn't wish to be here, if we didn't need to be here, we simply wouldn't be. I hope from this you can relax. It's hardly real. This is a game to be played. You'll never be in the gaps where you don't exist, but will always be in the points where you do exist. And it will always be this eternal moment of the present that you're experiencing right now. With this idea in mind, a good starting point is as follows. Use less words. And where the situation permits, practice a state of no thought, thoughtlessness. Between you and the raw experience of life itself lies your mind, a useful tool that is often a burden, interrupting your ability to perceive life in its purest form. To experience life right now, disengage from your thoughts, your mental chatter, and ideas. Simply engage with your five senses, allowing everything in, as it is. Now is the only place where life occurs. Now is the only place where you exist. Our thoughts cloud reality. They take away from the sensory experience of now. When you were a child, you could tune into reality with the greatest intensity. It was for this very same reason, the ability to tune into the present moment, the universal stream of consciousness. We miss those days when we could just be. We were in a different state of mind, a different mode of living, a state of downloading, an ability to take in the surroundings and experience everything without interpretation. There is a wisdom here that you can see in all the animals on Earth but man. As kids, we didn't carry heavily calculated interpretations and meanings behind all our sensory input. We didn't form opinions based on sensory information. We just experienced our senses as they were, a pure sense of living. On reflection, many of us see a profound wisdom in this simplicity. Many times when we wish to return to our early years, it is perhaps that frame of existence that we wish to return to. To experience the world without thoughts is the purest form of consciousness. You can practice this anytime, provided your attention is not being called upon to work at the present moment, or that you are in a situation where a lack of conscious thought could cause harm or injury. If you're in a safe spot and if your attention is not required for work or vehicle operation, then I'd like you to follow these words and try to experience a deeper sense of your own awareness. If you have any breathing conditions such as asthma, then I do not recommend this breathing exercise either. Let us enter this state for a short time to lock in to your five senses. If you have no trouble with only listening, then perhaps close your eyes and quieten your mind. The screen will remain dark for this time, so no need to watch. Before taking in a deep breath, start with a full exhale of the remaining air through your mouth. Slowly continue to breathe out all the air from your lungs through your mouth and count to 5 until there is no more left to exhale. Pause for a second or two and through your nose, deeply inhale a full breath of air. Once your lungs are full, pause for a second, let go and exhale through the mouth naturally. As you breathe out, feel your body moving into relaxation. Let's repeat once again, breathing out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, and in through the nose. Pause and exhale. Now you will return to your natural automatic state of breathing. Your body is entering into relaxation. Stresses are fading away. You're entering into the present moment, which is only breath. Ask yourself, what can you hear? In a moment, you are going to focus your attention to your ears, to the sounds around you. What can you hear? Listen to the various sounds, the ambient sounds, chatter of voices, cars, birds, the sound of my voice, everything. You might even recognize that the quality of silence has its own audible resonance, its own high-pitched frequency. Count the different sounds you hear. See if you can hear them individually, making up the sound landscape that lies before you. If you'd like, pause this recording for a few moments and just begin to listen. Now, bring your attention to your eyes. What can you see? What colors? What shapes? What patterns? Focus on a very small object in your field of vision, a speck of paint or dirt on the wall, a pattern on a blanket, a leaf. Focus all of your attention onto this small object for a moment. Stare into it with deep intent. Notice its texture, its color, its shape. As you pour all your conscious awareness into this small object, you'll start to recognize more details of its structure. No need to move a muscle. Hold your gaze into the object and become aware of your focus intensifying. As you stare deeply into this object, it becomes the very center of your universe. You may notice the surroundings of your vision begin to blur and sway visually, but pay no attention to anything but the object. Breathe deep. Continue to focus on this small object and let it draw your consciousness into it. You are now concentrating your full awareness into this powerful point. Allow the small object to almost hypnotize you. as you pour all of your attention into it. Continue to breathe deeply. You may begin to enter a sort of trance or meditative state. Allow this feeling of relaxation to occur. If you'd like again, pause this video for a moment whilst meditating on this object until your body is ready to finish. By this time, your body should be in a more relaxed and conscious state. You're fully alive in this moment, connected to your breath and senses, the faculties for experiencing life. All of eternity, all that life is, exists in this very moment, the state of now. The closest we can get to the truth, that is to say, true experience, is by experiencing things directly without the filter of concepts or philosophies to translate the stimuli of our senses. By the end of it all, we may come to see that understanding reality through the intellectual mind is like trying to listen to a color or trying to taste a sound, an incompatibility of sensory perception. Perhaps there is more wisdom in living like the animals, tuned to the moment without an over-analysis in the objects at hand. As we lived when we were kids, enjoying the seemingly eternal stream of consciousness without getting bogged down by concepts such as future and past. This is a very different mode of reality to the past and future paradigm that so many of us are prisoners in. To live simply, think simply. There is wisdom in simplicity. The deepest form of experience is not in the knowledge we obtain, but in the pure, momentary experiences of life. The deepest we can experience is in this very moment, the now. This is where the truest form of life exists. Stay there.
Love you. You did it. Congratulations.